All right, well, welcome back to the BioBuilder Lab. I am going to do a short introduction to the biomanufacturing material that we have within our applications topic. Biomanufacturing lessons are divided into a handful of lessons focused on fermentation that scale from a small volume of enzyme-producing cells to a larger volume of enzyme-producing cells. Then a couple of lessons about measuring that bioproduct, measuring that enzyme. Both of these are focused on beta-galactosidase, as have been the foundations modules as well. So checking the DNA, expressing and purifying the protein. We're all focused on this same system where now we are focusing on fermentation and measuring the bioproduct at scale if you were going to be manufacturing this for commercial use. We do talk for a couple of lessons about industrial scale biomanufacturing. But with this unit, with this short video, I want to focus a little bit on how we illustrate downstream processing. Downstream processing can sometimes involve very large volumes, but the principles can be illustrated in standard lab settings. So we use a different system to illustrate downstream processing rather than the beta-gal, which we've been focusing on up until now. The system that we use is a typical egg that you buy in a grocery store. Eggs have a lot of bioproducts within them. In particular, they have an enzyme called lysozyme, which kills bacteria by damaging bacterial cell walls. Lysozyme is very concentrated in the egg whites of a typical chicken egg. And so in order to access the lysozyme that is within this chicken egg, this cell, one of the things that we have to do is extract that bioproduct from this cell because it is intracellular, it is inside this egg. So we need to extract the insides. If a bioproduct is secreted, then you don't have to do this step. You just collect the liquid that's around that cell. But in this case, this bioproduct is inside the cell, so we have to extract that bioproduct. The next thing we're going to do is purify that bioproduct. So inside this egg, there are lots and lots of proteins. So we're going to try to concentrate the lysozyme by purifying it away from the other proteins that are inside of the egg. And then the third part we're going to do is measure the concentration or the activity of the lysozyme that we have purified. So those are that's the overview of this downstream processing series of classes and labs. There are a couple of calculations that give a couple of, or just give people some hiccups. And so I'm going to cover those next in order to get you ready to teach this class. All right, with this portion of the video, I want to go over two of the calculations that are related to the purification of lysozyme from the egg whites that is part of this biomanufacturing demonstration of downstream processing. So you are asked in this protocol to purify lysozyme from egg whites, and after filtration, which is a size exclusion, you are asked to now do a precipitation against some citric acid to precipitate the lysozyme from solution. And so you are asked to make a 50% citric acid solution. So to review, 50% of any, to make any 50% solution, that's going to be 50 grams in 100 milliliters. That is the definition of a 50% solution for any material. So that is equivalent to 5 grams in 10 milliliters. So I'm just moving the decimal one, which is equivalent to 0.5 grams in 1 milliliter. And this is the volume that you are asked to make in the protocol for this enzyme assay of lysozyme from egg whites. So you will measure 0.5 gram of citric acid, dissolve it in a little less than a milliliter, and then bring the volume up to 1 milliliter, and that generates a 50% citric acid solution. The other calculation that I wanted to review that is part of this protocol is the actual precipitation. You are asked to precipitate the lysozyme with the 50% citric acid so that the final citric acid concentration is a 1% citric acid solution. And you need a milliliter of this material. So this is a typical C1V1 equals C2V2 calculation, but in this case, you're asked how much of the 50% citric acid do we need to make a milliliter of 1% citric acid. So this is how you would set up the calculation, and what we have seen is that most people get this part pretty correct. They're pretty good about setting up the C1V1 equals C2V2. Where the hiccups happen is that then they start to try to convert the percentages back into grams per milliliter, and some of the math gets wonky. So I just want to point out that when you have the same units on both sides, percentages as a C1 and percentages as a C2, those are identical units, and those units will cancel out. So you can solve for V1 here, how much of the 50% solution. That's going to be 1 divided by 50, and the units here are milliliters. So I've moved the 50% over to the right side of the equation, and so it's 1% divided by 50% times 1 milliliter, and that gives you a total of 0.02 milliliters, which is equivalent, if you move the decimal to convert the units, to 20 microliters. So you need to add 20 microliters of the 50% citric acid to a final volume of 1 milliliter of the egg whites. Now the last place that people get a little hung up is that the final volume is 1 milliliter. If you add 20 microliters, that's going to bring it above 1 milliliter. So one thing that you can do is remove 20 microliters from the 1 milliliters of the egg whites that you have, so that then you can add the 20 microliters of the 50% citric acid, and in that way reach the 1 milliliter, 1% citric acid. All right, so those are the calculations that we have seen people have a couple of hiccups on as they do this purification of the lysozyme from egg whites as a demonstration of downstream processing when you have an intracellular bioproduct that you are trying to purify.